So what makes the HJC C10 so popular? Well, let's talk about it. Now you can say that the popularity might have stemmed from one guy, Fortnite, who said for value for money, this C10 is just as good as the top of the line helmet. Now where people get confused is they think that this will perform just as well as the top of the line helmet, but they would be wrong. But is this still a great helmet to have? Well, yeah. I'm going to go over the specs and features and what makes this an actual decent option for you guys. Starting off with the price, it is coming in at just under £100. That's for plain and graphic colours. Now, not many helmet manufacturers can compete with that price and also at this level of finish. When it comes to the construction of the shell, it is an advanced polycarbonate composite shell, which does mean it tends to be a little bit noisier than the other constructions of shell. So that's where they saved a little bit of money. But when it comes to the rigidity and the strength of this, nothing has been lost. This comes in 4 different shell sizes ranging from 3XS to 2XL, so you'll definitely find one that would fit your head. With that being paired to the cheek pads and the crown pads being fully customizable, you can definitely find one that fits you true to size. Now, of course, this reaches the latest safety helmet requirements, that being ECE 2206. When it comes to the shape of the helmet, it's not going to be the most aerodynamic, but it will cut through the wind fairly well at certain speeds. As you can tell, the shape is quite minimalist in its design. It doesn't have very distinctive features, but it has accents hinting towards a more sportier lid. Now, would I say go on a motorbike that's sporty and that be the only motorcycle you wear this helmet with? No, I feel like this suits any kind of bike. So maybe if you're looking for a motorcycle in the near future, but don't know what kind, whether it be a cruiser, a retro, or a sports bike, this would be a safe bet because this would suit any of those bikes. Moving on to the comfort and fit. This is where I thought they would cut some corners or try and use cheaper materials. I would soon find that I was wrong. When I looked into the inside of here, the padding is actually super plush, especially on top of my head, and the materials used are actually moisture wicking as well. What's really nice about this is it's also fully customizable, so you can change the cheek pads, the crown pads, and get the most true to size fit for yourself. A nice little feature that they have on here as well is the chin curtain. Now, some manufacturers struggle trying to make this a decent seal around the neckline, but with this I was pleasantly surprised as to having quite a decent seal around my neckline. Moving on to the visor, this actually is one of the best visors that they produce, with the maximum amount of UV protection at 99%. It also sports being able to use a pin lock on the inside in order to cater for all kinds of weather riding, especially when we're out in the rain or when it's cold, stopping it from fogging up. When it comes to the ventilation, it's fairly simple in that you have 2 vents at the top here, operated by a slider, as well as one at the chin here. In the back, you have 2 little exhaust ports, so you will get decent ventilation through this helmet. Now for some of, well, I guess bad bits, although for £100 they pretty much use the best materials that you could in order to get it at that price point, but little nitpicky things that I'm not so much of a fan of. So for the visor itself, if you try and open it, it is relatively stiff, but to be fair, it's not as stiff as a helmet that I own, and a lot of people that are watching this can probably guess what visor I'm on about when it comes to the operation of it. This is actually fairly easy, but it is a bit clunky. Now the vents at the top, yes, they will vent the helmet, so you will get decent wind throughout the entirety of the helmet. But for the sliders, the tabs are a little bit small, so when you're trying to feel it out with some thicker gloves, it might become a little bit tricky. The trim on the bottom here is this rubbery plastic thing, as you can see here. They normally use this on the more budget friendly helmets, let's say, where this material here is used at the bottom as the trim. It's a harder plastic, but over a course of a couple of years they do tend to delaminate and come off. Now, they won't compromise the structure of the helmet, but pretty much the overall look. You probably get away with living with it or just take it off completely. Now, that's only the little tiny bad bits that I have with this helmet, but overall, this is a pretty cool helmet just for under £100. Who's it for? Well, you can't really knock this helmet because at £100 they did their best in order to get something that we as the consumers would like. In terms of what a helmet needs to do, this will do it, because all we really need a helmet for is the safety. Looks, aerodynamics all come second hand. It's more about the safety of the helmet that's the most important. So if you're looking for good value for money in order to get out on a motorcycle, then this is one to go for. If you're a new rider that's just dipping their toes into the motorcycle world and don't really want to spend an arm and a leg on a helmet, then this is also another solid option, given that it fits you correctly. Now, if you're going back from motorcycle riding or have been out of it for a little while, again, this is a great option. If you want something that's great value for money, the C10 is definitely the one to go for. So that was just a small look into the HJC C10. Let us know what you think about it in the comments below. Would you put your head in one? Do you think it's good value for money? Well, let us know down below. Give us a like, be sure to subscribe, ride safe, and we'll see you all soon.